Hi everyone. Come on in. The water's fine. Glad you're here. Tonight, Erin, we're gonna go ahead and mute you real quick. Tonight, I want to welcome you to a really special circle. This one is about safety and creating safety for yourself so that you can unfold in the most natural and organic and powerful way possible. Good theme, huh? I'd like to honor the people here on the screen, and then we'll talk more about the theme. So, yay, I see a bunch of new people in the circle. I'm going to wait to read your names out until everyone's here, but man, you guys are punctual tonight. We got 22 people, bam, right out the gate. That's so exciting. So, I'm going to put the question forward on how you've been using tapping to create healthy boundaries and or to clear what you might be inadvertently creating that might be to your own detriment. So let me explain what I mean before I just throw this question out organically to our trusted practitioners and our tapping party people. They never know what I'm going to say, bless their hearts. How are you tapping your own self-sabotage out of your nervous system so that you can create a field of safety and well-being around you? Okay? Hopefully, in answer to this, you'll understand a little more what I mean, and we'll talk about it a bit more, okay? So Maya, would you like to be the first person to answer that? How you created more safety for yourself by tapping out certain things, and maybe you could specifically say what those things were that you've tapped out and how that's created them to stop manifesting for you.
Hi everyone, Maya from San Francisco, and I have created safety in my life by really getting in touch with my no. I really listen to my internal no now, and I have had to let go of relationships that were unhealthy. So one of my patterns that I've been working on is an abuse pattern. So I continued to attract this dynamic into my life, and when I started tapping, I really started going after it because it really is unsafe to, just to allow people to walk all over you. And so with tapping, I was able to strengthen myself and to really say no and to let go of people who weren't serving me and supporting me. And I'd like to say that I'm happy that they made shifts in their life, and some of those people ended up coming back into my life under my under what we agreed as an okay boundary, and my needs were listened to. So sometimes it works out well. Other people I've had to let go forever, and that's okay. It's part of life, and I think that having the people around you, like good people, is really an important lesson. So anyway. Yes, safety, very important.
Thank you, Maya. I want to add to that a little bit, and if you don't mind, if I talk a little bit about your history very briefly, are you okay with that? When someone has had a pattern in their childhood of being physically victimized, beaten, abused, verbally degraded, it often leads to a very natural expectation that that's going to be a part of your daily life forever. Just think about like when you're sick with a stomach ache, even though it might only last a day or two, you start believing it's going to be that way forever so quickly. So what happens when that's your real everyday experience for years, day after day, week after week, month after month, night after night? It goes in deep, and it begins to attract and force those situations, because your own creative power is so great that you will get what you believe you will get. Now, this is kind of traumatizing because it's not your fault that you were abused. And at the same time, here comes more of it, which seems super unfair, and it drives the pattern, reinforces the pattern. So for those of us who were physically and emotionally abused and victimized, you're going to have to go into the memories and into cleaning up the beliefs and forgiving yourself, and if you can, the perpetrators, even though they don't deserve it, which will disengage the expectation and allow you to concretely feel worthy of safety and start expecting safety. And as you expect safety and love, you show up more safe and loving to yourself, and thus make choices that attract other people to create interactions with you that are more safe and loving. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, thank you so much, Maya. Jana, would you like to address how you're creating more safety for yourself on any level, financial, emotional, spiritual, sexual, with tapping?
Hi, everybody. I'm Jana. I'm calling in from Oakland, California today. And, well, Sonia, you just took the words right out of my mouth. You basically
Say it again.
So, that's like, I mean, you basically just said it. So the way that I've been using it is that as I tap through the intensity and suffering in my own life, one of the ways it shows up for me is that I have like kind of a low-level anxiety, or I have had a low-level anxiety all of the time, because I'm usually working on so many projects and always pushing myself beyond what I've known, that sometimes if I think about it too much, or I try not to think about it, I just kind of feel this really constant anxiety. And so I just am completing a month-long coaching program that I was leading, and I tapped once a day for 30 days with all of my participants. And one of the things that was cleared in the last month was that tendency to just slide right into that anxious state. And what I realized was that the ways that disaster will show up in my life are really just echoes of the long years of suffering as a child, of really not having things get better until my adulthood, and the way that it impacts my creativity, the way that impacts the opportunities that I have, the way that impacts my financial state. And so now when things happen and when things come up, I've realized that it's just the echo, it's just the reverberation of what has been for a very long time still playing out, and I don't feel invested in it. It used to feel like proof. It used to feel like every time it happened again, every time there was disaster again, I felt like it was proof that I was doomed and that I couldn't move forward, that somehow the universe was against me, or that I wasn't good enough to be able to succeed. And now what that's given me on the other side of that is the ability to be very present and enjoy what is happening here in this moment. And now that that's happening just in a very short amount of time, my life has just is overflowing now with opportunity, with success. It's crazy how things can change in just a few weeks, and it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel temporary. It feels like, oh, good, now I know how to enjoy what I'm doing, and the more that I enjoy what I do, the more people are going to want to work with me and are going to want me to join in on their projects. And so I'm understanding the trends that that's going to make. And while I may still have my ups and downs, I no longer consider it proof that life is hard or bad. It's just going to be the ups and downs, and I'm going to handle whatever comes up in the moment. And so that's how I've been using tapping, in just the way that Sonia was saying.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well said. Thank you so much. I would like to say hello to Erin. If you want to switch your video on, you may or may not.
Hello.
Hi. hi. And she's having a tapping party at her house, as she has so amazingly committed to doing every Monday. 1, 2, 5, 10 friends. Whoever shows up, she's going to hold space. And we love you for that so much. So thank you. You want to say hi? And if the friends who are there with you want to say hi, they can. If they don't want to, that's okay too. And maybe you could talk for a second, Erin, and tell us how you're creating more safety for yourself by tapping.
Yeah, I am creating more safety for myself, particularly around self-sabotage. Probably the biggest piece of self-sabotage I've been doing in my life is around smoking cigarettes. And I've quit and started again and quit and started again. And what I came to realize with doing the tapping is that the piece that was still alive for me is, one, it's not even about smoking for me. It's really about wanting to numb away feelings that I don't want to face. And the way that tapping helps with that is that I can face them. There's a way that I can tap on the strong emotions that are coming up and actually fast forward my way through them and really get to the root of what's causing the problem. And then I don't even have the craving anymore. In fact, I don't even have any cravings anymore for cigarettes. It's if I ever notice any sort of because somebody else is smoking, I just notice it, and it's easy now. And it's because I was able to get to the root of what was the core causes of my smoking. So that's been a huge success story for me, and I'm really excited to have tapping now in my life. I don't have to numb my feelings anymore to get by. I can actually just get to the bottom of why I was feeling that way.
Awesome, Blossom. Thank you so much. Anyone else want to say hi, or are we just seeing you on screen right now?
It's just me tonight. I have another person, and they're watching on their own video.
Perfect. Okay, great. All right, and we're not going to be saying hi to Miss Partridge tonight because she's in a cafe in Argentina holding the circle open, and it's a noisy background and bad lighting, and she's just going to hold that space visiting some relatives. And so, wow, it's exciting. All right, so now I can see that our circle is growing and growing. And if you guys want to put in the chat window hello and where you're logging in from, so we can just get a sense of the size of this beautiful circle. And I saw that maybe 12, 15 new people joined this week, and that just makes my heart so happy because I know what you're about to get, and I'm thrilled for all of us, and we love you. So while you're chatting in, I'm going to say hello to Anne and Benjamin, Brittany, Brian, Chelsea, Christina, the other Christina, Corinne, Daddy-O, all right, Damali, Diana, the other Diana, Eva, Gina, Gregory, and Jessica, Julie, Kashmira, Kyle, Marco, Matt, Melissa, Nicole, Noni, Rob, Sarah, Susan, Sylvia, Tristan, and Ursula. Hi, everybody. And I'm just loving Oakland, LA, Nicole in Nepal. Wow. You found some good internet. That's amazing. Queens, New York. I love it. Daddy-O, where are you calling in from? Marco from Austin. Yay. And just, wow, I just love seeing Boulder, Colorado. There you are. Eureka, California. Lots of Texas people here because I'm around telling people. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't chosen a topic tonight, consider working on something that annoyingly was kind of wallpaper for your life as a child. Maybe it was always being talked down to. Maybe it was being overlooked. Maybe it was being criticized. Maybe it was all of those things. You know, maybe it was physically being hit, so you don't actually feel safe around people, and You're always wondering when the other shoe's going to drop, when they're going to turn on you. That's a great tapping subject, and probably the subject of many taps to come. But if you have something more pressing to do, choose what you came to the circle with, okay? Okay, so everyone, let's just take a deep breath. Good job. Now I'm going to take you to the core causes questions. If you're watching this on replay, you're going to find those at my website, soniasophia.us, SONYASOPHIA.us. It'll be on a drop-down menu under World Tapping Circle, and you can look at those questions. You could even print them out from there. If you are live with us, you're going to go to the pop-ins in the sidebar and take the Core Causes survey by hitting the yellow Get Started button. You're going to have about 5 minutes. I'm also going to screen share and turn off my video and audio, and we'll see you in about 5 minutes to answer the survey, okay? Let's see here. Okay, here we go. I'm having a little issue with the screen sharing moment. Please take the survey anyway. Here we go. We got about 1 more minute to finish up, and click the submit button so that we get your answers. Remember that your answers are private. We don't really get to see who's saying what. It's more about just getting the data. If you've already hit the submit button, you can tap your chest and just start breathing. Just tap your chest in a circle and breathe. Okay, so everyone hit submit, please. I'll give you about 30 seconds for that data to come in. And hopefully you're breathing and relaxing towards all that stuff that you just called to the surface. What we're doing when we ask these questions is we're digging down into the bottom of our subconscious and we're pulling up data that's been actually controlling your behavior, controlling your mind, controlling your interactions, setting your expectations, and then being a filter so that everything looks like you expect it to look. It feels like you expect it to feel. And that can be really intense. You're sort of self-triggering yourself. But that's preemptive triggering, means that later, when the triggering event comes to test you, you will not be as triggerable. And you'll know you've succeeded in clearing the pattern when the thing that would have triggered you doesn't touch you, and you don't have to fake it or pretend or numb it or hide. It just doesn't hurt anymore. And you might even be able to have a different voice in the situation. You'll also notice as you clear patterns that the people who used to be the triggers for you, their behavior changes because your script of how the world interacts with you has changed. It's really amazing. And you don't need to be touched in that sore spot anymore, so they get to be a different person for you. Okay, so now I'm going to screen share the answers. And refresh here so we get the information. Great. So, as you can see, lots of people tapping on relationship and whatever the mysterious other is tonight, and split kind of for the rest. What are the negative feelings associated? 54% say fear. And anxious, worry, and overwhelm are coming in. A close second with alone. Everybody tapping and breathing. Tapping the center of your chest. Big deep breath. Lots of frustration, some grief. A little bit of rebellion, lots of resentment. Feelings of being unworthy, humiliated, embarrassed. Feelings of being stupid, nauseated, unworthy, tired. I'm just kind of skipping down the list. Helpless, weak, mistrustful, misunderstood, shamed, unsure. Okay? What's your negative self-talk about this? A lot of people saying, I'm not good enough, and feeling like they don't have what it takes, and fear of failure. Others worried about what others will think of them. I don't want the responsibility. I should have done this. I shouldn't have done that. Thinking it's too late. Well, if you're here tapping, I promise you it's not too late. Not ready. I'll deal with it later. I have to do it by myself. Lots of people saying my needs don't matter. Out of my control. Too hard. Never succeed. Okay? Worried we can't do it. Couple people feeling doomed and stuck. What does your culture say about this? As the circle grows, I'm not going to read every single person's inner dialogue, but just know that really it's for you. Okay, so love should be natural. be a heartless cog. Heart is secondary. Artists are poor. You're the baby. You can't make your own decisions. Lyme's disease isn't real. Glorified youth. Success is young money and lots of sexual currency. Grin and bear it. Told you so. I'm just kind of skipping down. Don't feel bad if I didn't read yours. So I'll suffer for years and then die. Sex is for procreation, not pleasure. Unhealthy. You should know better. Respect your elders. Taking on others' stress is just how you show that you care. Now, okay. So here we have colors. This is for people who are more kind of visual. How does it show up inside your body? Red, dark, black, gray, brown, greenish yellow. Someone, I think maybe it was you, Damali, emailed me this week and said, what do those colors really mean? You talk about red and then you kind of skip the rest. So this is just a way of tuning into like how you're carrying this energy in your body and what possibly, I'm not saying it will or that it is, but it might possibly be creating some physical issues. So red represents inflammation. And aggravation and often anger. Dark is actual dark energy, like you're feeling kind of hateful or spiteful or revengeful or even feelings of like evil thoughts, right? Carrying that darkness, feeling like something's got a hold of you. Same with black, it would have that same feeling. Sometimes darkness could just be like shrouded, like my light is being blocked. But black would have that more intense kind of evil feeling sometimes. Gray is a numbness, a dullness, a deadness. Brown may be like scabbing, healing, but it still feels really tender. Greenish yellow could be where you're feeling like it's festering inside you. It's eating at you. It could also be causing infection. Okay? When did this issue start? People saying before I was born. Maybe you're working on a theme for your genetic ancestral memory or even your past lives if you believe in that. We have ancestral memory, so however you want to talk about that, your DNA remembers stuff. Whether you think you as a soul were involved or not, your ancestors weren't tapping. And you might have inherited some stuff from people who were abused over generations. I know you did. We all did. So we're cleaning it up. Who do you blame or hold responsible for your issue? A lot of people blaming themselves, some blaming their families and their primary caregivers, society. God coming in at 8%. Who modeled the similar attitudes and feeling in your family? So you may not be blaming your mom, but mom is your first imprint. We all come through a mother. She has one of the most strongest effects on our lives, unless she like disappeared right after you were born and you were really only interfacing with your dad. So a lot of us are going to spend a ton of time working on mom stuff. Moms, be glad if your kids are in here tapping. And by the way, I've had so many people when they just spent, let's say you just said it for the next 6 months, I'm only clearing all my relationship with the feminine, every single mom, every single girlfriend, every best friend, whatever it is. You'll find that not only do your relationships with the feminine change drastically in a much more beautiful way, but your actual parent will shift and change. And for example, my dad, who was neglectful and lecherous and sexually weird, and never appreciative and demonstrative or affectionate, called me this week to say, "You're beautiful and I love you," in the same phone call. Blew me away. It's happened 3 times now. He's changing because I've been tapping daddy stuff out of my nervous system, and it feels great. Where do you feel this in your body? Entire body? Different places. Keep tapping your chest and breathing. We're almost to the tapping section, okay? If your issue had a texture, what would it be? What would it feel like? And here you can see people responding different ways. Again, that's just helping you get a visceral feel of how you're storing this energy in your body. And the reason I'm asking you these questions is because they correlate to neural networks, places in your brain, which control places in your body, tell your body if it's safe to release toxins, if it's safe to take in nutrients. And we want to get that neural network stimulated so that we can put empathy there and dissolve the protein bond that is actually holding a belief in place and help you reprogram yourself with something more useful like success and love and feeling blessed. What benefit do you think you're receiving by holding on to the issue? Top ranking answer every week is protection, protection, protection. What that tells me and should tell you is that you are afraid, that there's fear and terror underneath that. We don't protect ourselves when we feel safe, right? So there's fear there. Some of it's around punishment. Punishing self, if you look deep into punishing yourself, you'll ask yourself why? To protect myself from making the same mistake again. Okay? Here we go. Rate the intensity of your issue on a scale from 1 to 10. Most people hanging at an 8. 8, 9, 10 in the highest range. All right? Let's do it! Okay, you'll see me again? Here we go. I'm not sure why that made my video a little blurry on my side, but hopefully you can still see me. Alright, so now we're going to massage these points in the front of the chest, and hopefully for you new people, you did all of the things I asked you to do in those emails. You watched the prep videos about what tapping is and why we tap and how we tap, and you're super ready. Yes, you did. I'm sure you did that. Because I don't really want to spend a lot of time at the beginning of these doing all that groundwork. So if you didn't, go back and watch them before you log in again. Okay? But for now, we're just going to start massaging these points. I'm going to ask you to do what I'm doing, to say what I'm saying. If the words I'm using don't fit for your experience, you're going to modify it so that you're tracking your own experience. Okay? Massage the front of your chest. Big, deep, cleansing breath. Big noisy sigh. Let's try it again. Big breath. Nice audible sigh. Repeat after me. Even though I have this issue, and I want you to think about your issue. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Big breath. Tap your eyebrows. Even though I have this issue. Tap your temples. I'm deeply and completely open to loving and accepting myself. Tap your cheeks. This issue about, and then say what your issue is about. Tap under the nose. Say it again. This issue about. Tap under the lips. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Say it as if you might be willing to mean it, okay? With a little enthusiasm. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap your chest. Even with this issue exactly as it is. Big breath. Tap the front of your ribs. Even though I have this issue. And this point is right here at the bottom of your rib cage. Right at the front of your ribs where the bottom 2 ribs are. It can be sore, especially if you've got a lot of anger. Even though I have this issue, I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Now you're going to tap the side of your ribs. This is the side seam of your body. Nipple height, straight across, under the arm. Ladies, if you're wearing a bra, this is where your bra strap will go across. You can tap with the back of your hands like that, or you can cross and do it like this. Okay, big breath, big sigh. Tap the inside of your wrist on the wrist bone. Right here, pinky side of the hand, on the bone that moves up and down when you move your hand. This is a heart point. Even though I have this issue, say it again. Tune into your issue. And it makes me feel like what? What's the number one negative feeling? I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap the side of your thumb, right at the side of your thumbnail, and breathe. Very good. Tap your index finger. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap your middle finger, even with this issue, exactly as it is. Tune into your issue. Do not try to change a thing. Just accept it as it's occurring for you right now. Big breath. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger, this issue. Say it again. Tap your little finger, this issue. One more time. Tap the side of your hand. I love and forgive myself. Let's try that. Tap the top of the head. Even with this issue, exactly as it is, tap the back of the head, the sides of the head. Big breath. I'm open to forgiving myself for telling myself what? Tap the temples. What's the mean thing that your inner voice has been telling you over and over about your issue? I'm not good enough. I'm alone. What is it? We're going to say it 5 times, tapping 5 different places. This is a turbo tap, so we're going to move fast. I've been telling myself, tapping your cheeks and breathing. Tap into the nose. I've been telling myself. Tap under the lips. Finish the sentence. I've been telling myself what? Big sigh. Tap your chest. I've been telling myself. Say it again. Tap the front of the ribs. I've been telling myself what? Tap the side of your ribs. I'm open to loving and respecting myself, even though I've been telling myself what? Say it again. Tap the inside of the wrist. I deeply and completely accept myself, even though part of me really believes, say the negative thing again. Tap the side of the thumb. Part of me really believes, say it again. Tap your index finger. Tune into that belief again and see how real it feels now. It's very likely that the intensity is starting to drop. Occasionally the intensity will flare because you've just been numb, and then it will start to drop. So just be with whatever is. Tap your middle finger. Big deep breath. Good. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap your little finger, even if a part of me's been saying what? Tap the side of your hand. It's okay. I forgive myself for feeling like that was the truth. You give yourself compassion for the part of you that really believed that mean thing. Tap the top of the head and the sides of the head. I've been telling myself again and again, say the same mean thing unless that thing has disappeared and you've got another mean thing that you've been saying to yourself. Big noisy breath. Tap the eyebrows. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap your temples, even though a part of me thinks what? Tap your cheeks. I'm allowing myself to release this old belief. Tap into the nose. Ask yourself when you picked up this belief. How old were you? Tap under the lips. What was happening? Tap your chest. Who handed you this thought? They either said it directly, and if they said it directly, I want you to use the exact words. They told me what? And if it's not something they said exactly, I want you to say they implied by doing whatever they did that I was whatever. Okay? Describe how you got that belief. And tap the front of your ribs. I picked this up from who? And tap the side of the ribs. When? Tap the inside of your wrist. When I was what? And tap the side of your thumb. I was what? I was an innocent little child trying to do what? And tap your index finger. Even though I was how old? When I started to believe what? Because I was being told or shown, say what exactly the same sentence was if someone told you. Say it 3 times. So if it was, I'm stupid, it's like, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid, right? Breathe. Tap the bottom of the first finger. And that became part of my internal dialogue. Tap your little finger. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap the side of the hand. Big, noisy breath. Tap the top of the head. I'm open to releasing this old, painful belief. Tap the back of the head and the sides of the head. Tap the eyebrows. What would the opposite of this belief be? Tap the temples. I'm open to telling myself, and then say the opposite of that limiting belief. Tap the cheeks. Let's say it 10 times. I'm open to telling myself, say this positive statement again. Tap under the nose. Say it again. Breathe. Tap under the lips. Say it again. Tap your chest. Say it again. Tap the front of your ribs. Say it again with some enthusiasm. Let's go. Tap the side of the ribs. Say the positive belief again. Breathe. Make some noise. Let your body do what it needs to do. This positive speaking is very intense because it contradicts the negative belief. It disrupts the pattern. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm open to telling myself, say the positive belief again. Tap the index finger. Now let's shift back to the negative belief. Even though I've been believing, say the negative belief again. Let yourself feel the weight of that negative belief. Just accepting it wherever it is. Tap the middle finger. I'm open to upgrading my belief system. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. No matter how long I've been telling myself, say the negative belief again. Tap the little finger. It's possible that was never true about me. Tap the side of your hand. It's possible that that was never the truth about me. Big breath. Tap the top of your head. I love and respect myself. Tap the side of the head. I'm open to believing what? What would the positive belief be? Tap the eyebrows. Tap the temple, even if that shifts my identity. Okay? Tap into the nose. So I'm going to explain something here for a second. So just tap and listen. Tap under your lips and down to the chest. So when you are reprogramming your mind and cleaning up your inner world, the first thing that happens is your identity gets threatened. Because if I've been believing that I'm not worthy of love, or that people are going to hurt me, I've built an entire personality, persona, and not only set my expectations, but everyone else's expectations to treat me in a certain way because of who I am and what I've been through. Which doesn't mean that who you are and what you've been through is bad or wrong or isn't even appropriate for what you came from. It's probably exactly appropriate. It's just not working well now for who you want to be and where you're going. So when you start changing your belief, it also changes your identity, how you show up, and that can feel really risky. So we're dealing with what people call ego, which I just call personality, right? Your identity, and that identity starts to dissolve. The more you tap, the less you care about who you are, your self-description, or what other people think about you. And the more kind and stable and loving and powerful you show up. Okay, down to the front of the ribs. I created an identity of what? Can you describe what the limiting identity based on this thought was? Maybe it was of being a victim. I created the limiting identity of what? Can you just spit it right out and breathe? Let's say it again just for fun. Side of the ribs. I created the limiting identity of what? Tap the inside of the wrist. By believing, let's say this old belief again, for so long. Tap the side of the thumb. It's not my fault that this became my identity. I want you to give yourself a lot of compassion because it's not your fault. It was accurate for the moment. If you were being beaten every day and told you were a worthless nothing, you were victimized. So yeah, you were the victim. That was accurate. Tap your index finger. I forgive myself for creating the identity of what? Tap your middle finger. I forgive myself for expecting this to go on and on. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. I've been expecting this to go on and on. Tap your little finger. I love and forgive myself. Tap the side of the hand. Even if my identity has been one of what? Okay, it can be very subtle. Maybe you don't expect people to beat you, but you just feel like the poor me. Like, oh, bad stuff always happens to me, or I'm just the sad one that never gets what I want, or other people get invited, but I don't get included. Okay, tap the top of the head. I'm allowing myself to release this old memory. So I want you to go back to think about what happened, the story that created this identity. Tap your eyebrows, and I want you just to replay that like a little movie in your head and breathe and tap. Get the vivid details in your mind, nice and slow, and breathe. Tap the cheeks. Now I'd like you to describe what happened. I was what? Tap into the nose. Tap under the lips, and then what happened? Tap the chest, and then what happened? Nice big breath. Tap the front of the ribs. And all of this led up to what? Up the side of the ribs. And I've been replaying this scenario over and over. Notice if you have. Is this showing up for you in so many different relationships? And has it been showing up over time, again and again, no matter who you change out of connection with? That next person comes and shows you another aspect of it, right? Tap the inside of the wrist. I love and respect myself. I forgive myself for recreating this series of events without knowing what was happening or how it was happening. Big breath. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm open to forgiving myself for having this strong expectation set for me by these early events. Think back again to these early events. Lay it out in your head, tap your index finger and breathe. Tap your middle finger. I love and forgive myself. Now I really want you to shower yourself with some compassion. You didn't know how reality worked or the nature of the power of your own expectation. You weren't taught that as a child. You may not have been taught that until today. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger and breathe. Lots of compassion. Give yourself love for being innocent way deep down. Tap the side of the hand, and for however that distorted your personality. Okay, so for example, when someone's been victimized or not given what they need, sometimes in desperation, they try to take what they need, right? They either sell themselves for what they need, or they give away their power for what they need, or sometimes they get clever and become manipulative, or steal it, or out of desperation, just siphon it. And however you had to cope, that's going to change now too. And you're going to get forgiveness now for however your coping strategy showed up. Tap the eyebrows. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. Tap the temples, even though I was desperate for what? Tap the cheeks. I've been desperate for. Tap into the nose. I've been really desperate for. Say it again. Feel into that part of you that was desperate to get your needs met. Tap your chest. It's okay that I became what? How did you react in an effort to get your needs met? Did you get small? Did you get overblown and egotistical? Did you get... I got what? Did you become, tyrannical and angry? Did you become withdrawn and numb and shut down? Tap the front of the ribs and breathe. I love and respect myself. And tap the side of the ribs, even if I started doing what to protect myself. Tap the inside of the wrist. This old coping strategy. Big breath, big sigh. Oh, yes, it's coming out. I can feel it. Tap the side of the thumb. This old coping strategy of what? Did you start lying? Did you start stealing, cheating, turning into a zombie? Tap your index finger. I started what? Say it again. Let's bring some love there. Tap the middle finger. It's the only strategy I had. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. It worked a little bit for a little while. Tap your little finger. It got me through. Tap the side of the hand. Now it's in my way. Good job. Tap the top of your head. I love and respect myself. Let's shout it out. See if you can make me hear it all the way here. Nicely done. Tap the side of your head and the back of your head. I love and respect myself. Tap the eyebrows, even if my old coping strategy is all I know. Tap the cheeks. But it's all I know. Say it in kind of a squeaky, nervous voice. Oh no. Tap under the nose. I love and respect myself, even if this is all I've known. Tap your chest. That's okay. I'm curious to see how else I could show up. Tap the front of the ribs, even if this is all I've known. Tap the side of the ribs. And this is how other people have seen me as well. Big breaths and a huge wave of compassion. Tap the inside of the wrist. I love and respect myself. Tap the side of the thumb and the index finger, even if this is all I've known. Tap the middle finger. I'm allowing myself to relax. Tap the middle, bottom of your fourth finger. I'm creating a new identity based on love and compassion for myself. Tap the little finger. And possibly compassion for the people that programmed me that way. Tap the side of the hand. Who were also hurt. Who had also been twisted and abused by their environments. By their society and their families. Tap the side of the head. Right? Because if you were suffering at the hands of those people, it's not that they were raised in the most beautiful, loving, nurturing, healthy environment and they just decided to be super cruel and mean to you. Right? They were hurt too, and they were acting out with their coping strategy in a similar way that you may have acted out and accidentally hurt people in the process of your coping strategy. Hey, it's a family tradition. Tap the cheeks. I'm changing this family tradition. Of what? Tap into the nose and breathe. Tap into the lips. I love and respect myself. Tap the chest. And I'm open to forgiving all of us. Forgiving yourself first for how you've replicated it. Forgiving the people in your family for replicating it with you. And let's go all the way back to whoever started this pattern, maybe hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. Could be the caveman who started it in your family. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm forgiving everybody involved. And just do it, just for fun, just to see what happens. Tap the side of the ribs. It's safe for me to do this. I'm creating safety for myself and my family. Tap the inside of the wrist. Even if these people don't feel, it doesn't feel like they're worth forgiving. Right? Notice that a part of us wants to hold on to the, you hurt me and I'm going to make you pay. Well, who's really paying? Tap the side of the thumb. I'm allowing myself to heal what happened in my family. Tap the index finger. Cleaning it up for myself and everyone involved. Big breath. All right, so you guys are doing really well. Let's have our first check-in. That was pretty intense little kickoff, hey? So what I'd like you to do is go to the chat window if you can. If you are watching this on replay because you live in another part of the world, hello, and thank you for being here, and tap on your chest and tune into how intense your issue was at the beginning versus where it is now. So maybe it was an 8 or a 9 at the beginning, and I want you just to tap your chest and tune in and see what the level of general intensity is on this issue. Everybody else is putting into the chat window. It was a 8, for example, as John has just done, and now Dash, it's a 6. And she says, I feel like I'm going to pass out. And we haven't lost anyone yet, officially, from tapping. Don't worry. You will live, and you will live better and shinier. Jennifer says, 8 to a 5, feeling sadness coming up. Erin says 7, 9, 6. She's doing the wave, crying and foggy. Everybody keep tapping and breathing. You can tap on any of the points you want while we're reading the check-in. Diana, a 9 down to a 5. Awesome! Maya, a 10 to a 6, feeling way lighter. Anne goes 7, 8, 5. She's doing the wave. Sarah, an 8 to a 5, realizing I've been trusting others but not myself. Ooh. Yeah. Karishma, a 10 to a 7. Good. Steady progress. Keep showing up. Christina, a 10 to a 7. I developed conforming to be who I think they want me to be in order to be loved. I learned it from my mom. She did that too, wanting to create a new identity. Who I am is good enough to be loved. Awesome. Jessica, 10 to 7. Ursula, a 7 to a 3. Wow, it's coming in so quickly here. Nevin, Noni, 7 to 4. Benjamin, 8 to 7, feeling numb, foggy, and hopeless. Keep tapping, Ben. Hang out where you are and don't try to change it. Just breathe. Jamal, a 10 to a 7, very intense. Kyle, 6 to 5. Melissa, 8, 10, 7. Corinne, 10 to 8. Eva, an 8 to a 7.5. Good job. It's your first circle. Breathe and hang in there. Daddy-O, an 8 to a 5. Hannah, feeling sleepy and dozing off, was numb, but she's gone from a 7 to a 5. Sometimes we want to check out because that part of our brain is going, but I'm your identity. Go to sleep. Do not listen to this video. You're going to have to maybe stand up. Okay? Brittany, an 8 to a 4, 50% off. Big hug to the sacred, manipulative, mean girl as I exhale while tapping, and I'm growling, falling deeply in love with the powerful lioness that is me. We are falling in love with you too. Julia, 10 to a 6, feeling anger and humor at the anger simultaneously, laughing and crying and tapping. Yeah. Tammy was numb, no number. I feel like it came back into. I've come back into my body. I've been in a funk. Good. So you're coming back to life. Numb means it's been a 10 for so long that the Richter scale is just pegged out and broken there. So coming back into your body is a good sign. It may come back a little intense for the beginning of that process. Meredith, a 10 to a 9. I feel sick. Brandy, oh Meredith, you're having a tapping party. Brandy is her friend, 10 to 8. Gina, 10 to 3, lots of burping and heat on the top of my feet. So some of us are burpers. I just want to explain that. It's nothing that you can control or stop. Sometimes tapping makes you burp. Don't ask me where all that air is coming from. People aren't swallowing it. It's just part of how energy moves. There's a whole Japanese healing art that involves burping, and I was glad to learn about that because some of us are burpers. I wasn't at first. I am now. And it's not like the best way. It's just a way. Okay, season 8 to a 7. Lots of frustration. Mad at culture for being asleep, which means part of me is asleep. Ugh, that's right. Okay. Let's get back to it. Tapping your chest. Even though I feel. Okay, what's the next negative feeling? Maybe it's the same one you were working on. Maybe it's another one that's really surfaced. Big breath. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the eyebrows. I feel really wet. Tap the temples. I feel really wet. Tap the cheeks. Just accept the feeling without trying to change it and breathe. Tap into the nose. I love and respect myself. Tap under the lips. Even if I continue to feel, breathe. I'm open to loving and respecting myself. Tap the front of the ribs. It's okay that I feel this way. Tap the side of the ribs. It's okay that I've been feeling this way a long time deep down. Big sigh, bringing empathy to the part of you that has been stuck there for a long time. Big noisy sigh, strong breath. If you're feeling overwhelmed, I want you to breathe deeply and really concentrate on the strong exhalation. So it's a big in-breath and a strong noisy exhalation. Do it again. One more time. Big breath. Good job. Inside of the wrist. I love and accept myself, even if I continue to feel. Say this feeling again. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm open to releasing this feeling of, say it again. Tap the index finger, tuning into the feeling. See if you can still feel it. And breathe, accepting whatever's there. Tap the middle finger. I love and accept myself, even if I continue to feel. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger, say it again. Tap your little finger. Maybe I'm always going to feel this. Say the feeling again. Tap the side of your hand. I love and forgive myself. Tap the top of the head. Even if I always feel what? Tap the back of the head and the sides of the head. I might always feel what? Tap the temples. Good job. Tap the cheeks, tuning into that feeling again. Bring compassion or love right to that place where this feeling is lodged. Where is it lodged in your body? Up under your nose, I just want you to give some sweet understanding and empathy to the place in your body that's been holding on to this for you. Tap your chest. I've been holding this in my where? Big, sweet breath, bringing love with your breath, as if your breath were compassion itself, and breathe it right into that place in your body. Big breath. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm allowing myself, tap the side of the ribs, to have compassion for the part of me that still feels what? Tap the inside of the wrist. It's really understandable why I felt this way, or why I feel this way. Tap the side of the thumb. It's really understandable. Tell me. Yeah, it's really understandable. Now you can point at the screen and go, you have no idea. And tap your index finger. I love and accept myself, even though no one else really knows how much I've been suffering with the feeling of what? Tap the middle finger. It's okay. I love and understand myself. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I have so much empathy for the struggle. Give yourself so much empathy for the struggle. Big, soft breath. Tap your little finger. This remaining feeling of, say it again. Tap the side of the hand, this remaining feeling of. Tap the top of the head, this remaining feeling of. Say it again. Tap the eyebrows. I love and forgive myself. Tap the temple. Even if I'm still storing this feeling of, say the feeling again, in my where. Tap the cheeks and breathe. Tuning in and see if you still have that feeling or whatever's still there. I want you just to accept whatever's there. And tap under the lips. I'm allowing myself to relax. Tap the front of the chest in a big circle. What would the opposite of that feeling? So if it was fear, it would be safety. Okay. If it was needing to protect myself, it's allowing myself to be open. Tap the front of the ribs. I love and respect myself exactly as I am. And tap the side of the ribs, even with these remaining feelings of what? Tap the inside of the wrist. Try doing the opposite wrist if you haven't. I'm giving myself a new possibility. Big breath. Tap the side of the thumb. The possibility of now feeling what? With the opposite feeling again. This new possibility of feeling, say it again. Tap the middle finger. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. So someone's just put in the chat that the physical pain has increased. Sometimes, as these old trapped emotions are coming out of the body, they're going to get louder before they come out. So I want you to do as much as you can to relax. Instead of withdrawing from that sensation, I want you to put loving attention there. Don't try to change it. Don't pull away from it. Just breathe love and compassion right into the sensation. Tap the side of the hand and relax. Relax your heart towards it. Big breath. Good job. Tap the top of the head. I'm allowing myself to relax. Giving myself this new possibility. Tap the eyebrows. The possibility of what? Tap the cheeks. It's safe for me to bring this new possibility into my reality. Tap into the nose. Say your new possibility again. Okay, it's the opposite of the negative feeling that you were just working on, in case you've forgotten. Tap your chest and breathe. Good. We're going to have our second check-in. And tell me where you were, where you are now, as far as numbers go, if you can rate it. For people on replay, again, you're just going to tap your chest in a circle, breathe, and acknowledge whatever the intensity of your issue is and any bodily sensations you're having, including feelings of dizzy, foggy, tired, whatever it is. And while I'm waiting for your chat to come in, I want to say hi to Christina and acknowledge that you are also hosting a tapping party. And a shout out to Phil, Karen, Elaine, and Sally. Yay! Well done, you guys. I love that you're inviting people into our circle. So Jennifer says she's gone from an 8 to a 3.5. Very specific. Becoming more and more open to feel openness. Awesome. When you're done chatting it in, you're just going to start tapping your chest and breathing and accepting whatever stage of the process you're in. Okay, Sarah says, feeling open from an 8 to a 3. Awesome. Kashmira's dropped another point. 10 to a 6, now feeling numb. Okay, so people feeling numb, I just want you to tap and say this numbness, I accept this numbness. Say that over and over. It's just you trying to protect yourself because it's still intense, right? Aaron is 7 to a 9 to a 6, stuckness in sadness. Just lots of empathy and let yourself be stuck in sadness. There's no reason you have to be out of it. Don't push yourself. And I will say that to all of you. The fastest way to get stuck in this process is to try to force yourself to move faster than you naturally can. Your emotional body has its own pace. Respect it. Don't use your mind to beat yourself up with tapping. That doesn't work. Eva, great. 7.5 to a 6. You're doing it. Daddy-O just says Daddy-O. Jessica, exhausted but hopeful. And the happy is coming in. A 10 to a 5. 50% off, Jessica. Anne, gone from a 7 to a 3, feeling nauseated. That's a power issue. That's where you lost your power. Okay, so tap and breathe. Brittany, a 4 to a 7, felt amazing, and then this fear rolled over me. Okay, so that's another aspect. You got a big chunk of it down to a 0. Now you're on to a little branch of it, which is fear of shedding that old skin that hasn't served me. What will people think? I know, honey, you're going to have to retrain everybody. But hey, that's kind of cool. So this is what I meant about the identity getting threatened. Hang out, babe. You're going to make it through. Okay, let me scroll back up here. Damali, a 10 to a 7, sticking there. Foggy headache, feel like crying, but it's not coming. Just accept. Okay, Damali, you're tapping and saying, I don't want to feel the sadness. I don't want to feel the sadness. Chant that for a minute while I'm reading. Corrine, you've gone from a 10 to a 7, aching heart. Benjamin, 8 to a 7, tired, hopeless, but relaxing towards it. Beautiful. Gregory, 7 to a 3, I feel healthier and clear. Melissa, 8 to a 5. Season, 8 to a 6. Moving very slowly on this one. Frustrated, outcast archetype. Yeah, it's a good one to clean up. Kyle, 656. I notice my feelings coming through with more information beginning to illuminate the why of my 6. Beautiful. Information gives you power. Keep tapping, everybody. A 10 to a 2.5. Still feeling the heat around my feet. Yawning, burping. Okay, Matt, 9 to a 6. Working on feeling that I'm not responsible, not good enough, that I can't have what I want. Seeing how the people who raised me were trapped in a story like labyrinth, feeling powerful and able and patient. Want to be done tapping so I can start working. That's good. Let's get the pattern as complete as possible. Tammy, had a nice cry. Thank you for bringing me back. I check out when things hurt. Julie, a 10 to a 6, a 10, 6, 5. Really aware of the numbness that I carried around to protect myself from being too much. I've been feeling pangs in my heart these past couple of weeks. I've been tapping daily with Jonna. And I'm really realizing the pangs in the heart is really my heart cracking open. Numbness defrosting. That is right, darling. Danielle, moving towards a 3. Lots of crying and sadness for the first hour, shifting towards peace, gratitude, and optimism. Hannah, other aspects, blaming, disgust, angry with father, don't want to forgive. Yaman. Sometimes I can't read all the chat, you guys. I want to read it out loud, but I also want you to have tapping time. So 10 to 7, Meredith. Releasing hardness on self. Brandy, also there with her. 10 to a 7, have nausea in my throat and pain in my lower back. Okay, nausea, losing power. Throat, not able to say what you needed to say. Lower back, not feeling supported. Here we go. Massaging, front of the chest. Everyone, I'm really proud of you. Big breath, big sigh. I'm going after this pattern. Tap the eyebrows. I'm going after this pattern with my love. Tap your temples. I love and forgive myself for any part of me that's afraid. Tap the cheeks. Part of me is afraid. Afraid of what? Blurt it out. I'm afraid of what? Is it my sadness or my feelings or remembering what happened or the cool new person I get to be and have to retrain everybody? Tap the chest. I'm afraid of what? My power. That's usually really what's behind it. I'm afraid of what? Tap the front of your ribs. Let's chant it. I'm afraid of, say it again. Tap the side of the ribs. Afraid of, say it again. Side of the wrist. I love and respect myself, even if I'm afraid of, say it again. Tap the side of the thumb. It's okay. No matter how afraid I am. Tap the index finger. I love and respect myself. Tap the middle finger. I might stay afraid of, say it, for the rest of my life. Say it with some attitude. For the rest of my life. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. Give yourself permission to be stuck here. Why? That sounds crazy, right? But when that place that is stuck gets permission, it will change its mind. Tap your little finger. Really give it permission. I might take this to my grave. Tap the side of your hand. I love and accept myself. Come on, with some enthusiasm now. Tap the top of your head. I love and respect myself. Good. Back of the head, sides of the head. Even with this feeling of what? Tap the temples. I'm open to releasing the shame of this. Tap the cheeks. And the blame I've been projecting onto who? Tap under the nose and breathe. I'm open to releasing the shame of feeling what? Tap the chest. And the blame I've been projecting onto who? I've been saying it's whose fault? Tap the side of the ribs. I've been saying it's whose fault? And tap the inside of the wrist. I've been telling myself it's whose fault? Your fault, their fault, my fault, God's fault, the alien's fault. Big breath. It's okay. Even though I've been blaming who and shaming who. Tap your index finger. I'm letting myself move forward. Tap a middle finger. Now, whoever you've been blaming and shaming, I want you to just beam that person, which might be yourself, with love. If it's God, then I want you to just open up to universe or whatever that is for you and say, I love you. Thank you for my life. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. Sending gratitude and forgiveness towards the person you've been blaming and shaming, or people you've been blaming and shaming. Tap the little finger. Do it again. Because this frees you up. You get your life force back when you stop the blame, shame loop and the projection. It's not that projecting is wrong or bad. It's painful for you and for them because it's not productive. But we're going to just release that whole projection game. It's what happens when you don't understand your trigger. Tap the top of the head. It's okay. Even though I've been blaming who? I forgive myself. Now I'm bringing the trigger to a stop inside myself. This puts you in an enormous position of power. When it's not their fault anymore, and it's not even your fault, it's just that you're at master control because you're like, oh, I was creating more of this. Cool. Now I'm going to create something else. Then you're really powerful. And then they actually have to follow your new script, which is very powerful. Tap under the lips. I'm releasing the blame and shame from who? Tap the chest. Even if part of me is still holding on, tune in and see if part of you wants to hold on to regret or embarrassment or shame or guilt or even just an attack stance. Tap the front of the ribs. I love and respect myself. And tap the side of the ribs, even if part of me is still holding on to this. Say what it is that you've been doing, holding on to what. Inside of the wrist, I love and respect myself. Big breath. Good job. Tap the side of your thumb. Hey, you guys. This feels like it's going to go over if we don't stop soon. I got really on a roll tonight. I've been doing my own tapping today, and I'm flying high. We're going to do our final check-in, okay? So just tap your chest, give me a check-in, and tell me where you're at. We're going to go over just a couple of minutes tonight, okay? And you may not be done with this issue, which means that tomorrow you might want to watch this video again, or choose any of the others from your video archive, which can be found at worldtappingcircle.com in your members area. Okay? There's about 70 hours of these videos there waiting for you, and we just uploaded 10 new mini taps, which are 10 to 15 minute long little micro taps on certain subjects, and we're going to be adding more, so it's super exciting for you to use those videos. And email us, tell us how you're liking it, you know, we like to know. Okay, Hannah, a 7 to a 3, feeling much better with the forgiveness. Thank you, Sonia. You're welcome, honey. Eva, 5, high five. My heart is lighter. She's like, if this doesn't help me, I'm coming to your house. I was like, oh, it will. 7 to a 9 to a 6 to a 4. Erin, yay, I'm going to tap on it again with a focus on shifting hopelessness to empowerment. Good. We are going to do a little wrap up, and you're going to get some time to drill in a new idea. Start now, Erin. Sarah. And down to a 2. Awesome. Sarah, 8 to a 1. Ready to forgive, trust myself, and see the big picture. Great. Marco, forgiving myself and my mom is really helping. It feels like both and not one or the other. That's true. You guys, we're so connected. That's why we can't afford to attack each other. Attacking someone else is attacking yourself. Attacking yourself is attacking someone else. It's just time to end that game on this planet. Christina felt mad at God. I can't read this whole thing because it's long and we're ending soon. But you're feeling better. Brittany, down to a 2, feeling so much love, heart is open, ready to call my mom and get her in here. Yes, go girl, I've been seeing you putting it out on Facebook. I love it. And we have an affiliate program, so for people who want to like get their friends involved in and stuff, you can actually start creating a passive income for yourself. That's part of why we raised the prices, so that I could afford to pay you residual income for all the cool new friends that you're going to turn on to tapping anyway, just because you really like it. And I thought maybe you'd like to get some money for that so that you can build your dreams with some extra income. Okay, Matt had learned to stay back and let others handle everything. That's just not for me to take action. Sending compassion to the part of me that learned to hold back my power. Awesome. Jessie feeling inspired. Corinne feeling sleepy and better. We're ready for the new. Ginger Christina 9 to a 6. Cindy 9 to a 6. Phil 5 to 4. Sally 4 to 2. Karen 4 4. Elaine 9 to 1. So people who didn't get a whole lot of movement, you might need to use some other words. Dig a little deeper. Look at your core causes questions again. Tap on the information. I promise you it's there. You just might not have gotten to it yet. Ursula, 7 to a 2, feel good in my body. See that it's balled up with other issues, need some tapping. That's right, they're all connected. Connie or Corinne, 10 to a 6, safe to express myself, maybe? Opening to this, still unsure, right. Julie, 10 to a 3, hungry and alive, burns a lot of energy. 10 to a 6, still numb, but feel like I'm falling asleep, but my energy feels lighter. Yeah, you're doing it, honey. I call it swimming through peanut butter initially. A lot of people feel like they're going to pass out. The more you do this, the easier it's going to get. Please use your replay videos. Do one a day if you can. Skip the chat at the beginning. Go straight into the tapping. 8 to a 3 for Season. And Gina, a 10 to a 0. And Meredith, a 10 to a 7. No idea how to act. Brandy, a 10 to a 6. Feel empowered by the possibilities this convo has started. Kyle, a 4, very old, needs lots of attention. I'm learning. You're welcome. And I'm cracked open. I'm ready to get back. Tammy says, on track. I forgive myself. Big hugs. Thank you, lovely ladies. All right, we're going to tap in some love here at the end. Just tap all over your body and say, I'm creating the new reality of what? Imagine that reality. Imagine that it's been 6 months since you've had the new reality and how it feels. How does it feel in your body to have this new version? How does it feel in relation to other people? How does it change your life now that this is no longer an issue for you and you've had it healed for 6 months? So at the end of this, that's what you're going to really focus on. When you get your issue to a 4 or less, you can start programming a positive. Sometimes if it's still higher than a 4, your nervous system will just keep rejecting that positive energy. So at least get it down to a 4, 3, or 2, and then really, really focus on the positive. And that will dislodge it the rest of the way. So all of us who are on here, I'd like just a wave and a shout out, at least from, you can unmute yourself if you're feeling it, and say I love you, and thank you for showing up and being brave and strong and true to yourself.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Good night, everyone. Love you. Thank you.
I'm so proud to see so many people with us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sonia.
Well, thank you, Sonia.
Love you guys.
I love you, Tapping family. You're beautiful. I'm so proud of you for healing yourself. Thank you.
Makes our world a better place. You're so in charge of how this world goes. You have a huge amount of say. So back in your power, family. Let's take it on.
Absolutely.
Love you. See you next week. Maybe even see you tomorrow on a replay video. Wink, wink.